Good morning. It's Saturday morning. It's the weekend. Feels like any other day, frankly. I hope you're all fit and well. And we're going to do a mixed ability session of Lockdown Pilates. So just a quick thing, because other people will be watching this video later, is to exercise safely, take responsibility for making sure that you exercise in a safe environment so that you don't knock anything over, that you are fit and healthy. If you have any doubts, make sure that you get your doctor's approval before you do any exercise, particularly at the moment where it's difficult. If you feel dizzy, sick, or any pain when you're doing the exercises, please just stop what you're doing and work at the level that works for you. I'll offer lots of different layers and make sure that you don't overstretch yourself. Now's not the time to be doing things that you've never done before. So try to stick within your abilities and just focus on doing them really, really well so you get the maximum benefit. That's about it, really. So let's make a start. So we'll start with our standing setup. So feet together. Just think about standing nice and tall. So we're setting the body up, shoulders are back and down, zipping up through the thighs as if you are pulling on a pair of jeans that are a little bit tight, and we're pulling in through the tummy. So now we're going to turn those toes out like a ballerina, followed by your heels. And we want to find that the feet are parallel, hip distance apart. So again, nice pull in through the tummy. And we're going to start rolling onto the balls of the feet and back onto your heels. So very gently, very controlled. Start taking those nice deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. If you're new to Pilates, let's take it over to one side. If you're new to Pilates, I've got some beginners videos, a series of 4. So that would be a really good place to start. Let's do one more on each side. Then we're going to come back to the center. Weight even on both your feet. Press down the big toe, the little toe, and the heel. So we're lifting through the arches of the feet. Keep those knees gently softened so we're not locking them out. And we're going to do some pelvic tilts. So by that, I mean we're going to tuck the bottom under, and then we let the bottom go out behind you. So the upper body stays nice and still. And we're just working through the hips and the pelvis, tucking and tilting. We've all got a different range of movement. And we want to find somewhere in the middle of those two extremes, and that should give us a nice neutral spine. So growing nice and tall now out of the crown of the head. Keep the chin parallel to the floor, little tuck of that chin. So imagine that your chin is on like a train track, and you just press it back. So we're not nodding and we're not lifting, just pressing it back on the same level, and you can feel those muscles engaging on the back of the neck. It feels a bit longer at the back of the neck. Shoulders come up towards your ears, press them behind, and gently draw them down towards your heels, as if you're trying to slide them into your back pockets. So nice, draw up that pelvic floor now. So it's like a hammock underneath you. We're just going to draw it up 30%. And then we're going to place fingertips on the belly button. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, you can feel that belly button as you pull it in towards your spine. Try and tuck it up under your ribs. And you'll feel a nice engagement deep in the muscles here in your belly. So breath in. Breathing into the side of the rib cage as we stay strong through the center. Exhale. We breathe out and we pull in. Again, holding that connection here as we breathe into the side of the rib cage. This is our Pilates breathing. So staying strong through the powerhouse as we breathe deeply into the lungs. Last breath. Close your eyes if you want. Become aware of what's going on with the body. We're going to mobilize the body next, so it's a breath in. And as you exhale, we look over one shoulder. Inhale to return to the center. So the breathing pattern is as you exert, we exhale. So E for exert, E for exhale. Inhale back to the center. All this will become much more like second nature the more you do Pilates. The more your body will remember what it's supposed to do. Ear to shoulder next. Back to the center. We're going to mobilize the shoulders next. So we've got options here. We can do shoulder rolls, or we can bring our fingertips onto your shoulders and circle those elbows. So just get lovely movement through that shoulder joint. Try to feel balanced one side against the other. Let's rotate the other way, change direction. And we're still taking nice deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. Nice calming breaths. Last one. Let's bring those hands down by your side. So we're going to keep these hips fixed now, facing the front. It's a breath in. And we're just going to rotate through the spine, coming back to the middle. You can bring your arms up. Exhale to draw yourself around. Inhale back to the center. Let's do one more. Relax those arms down by your side. So we're going to do nice breath in. As you exhale, side bend, but lengthen through the spine. So we're not just crunching down on one side, we are lengthening. Inhale back to the center. Exhale to lengthen over onto the other side. And let's add in the arm just to increase that stretch. Think about the shoulder blades staying back and down. So we're not just reaching up, keep the shoulder girdle down. Last one. Oh yeah, make it same on both sides. Perfect. Lovely. So we're going to do, we've mobilized the spine. We're going to keep the spine nice and stable now while we mobilize through the hip joint. So keep those hips level, and we can do circles on the floor. Scoot that mat away. You can do it with a bent leg or a straight leg, toe connected to the floor or toe hovering. So whichever works for you, but we're aiming to stay nice and strong in the center so that the spine stays neutral and lengthened. Let's change direction of those circles. We'll do one more. And we're going to leave that foot out behind. Gently tip forwards here. So you've got a straight diagonal line. Think about the alignment of your neck straight on top of your spine. So if you're looking forwards, you've got a bend in the neck. So we're not looking for that. And then we're going to lift and tap that foot, that nice straight leg out behind you, or keep it hovered and pulse it. Use something to help you with your balance if you need to, maybe a dining room chair beside you. And we're just going to bring that knee to the front, rotate the ankle one way, change the direction, and lower. Same on the other side. So hips nice and level, good pull up and pull in. Again, just move things out of the way so you've got plenty of space. And focus on the breathing. So nice breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. Keep the shoulders back and down. Soften up the rib cage. And let's change direction. And last one, we leave that foot out behind, gently tipping forwards again, thinking about that nice long neck. And we lift and tap, or keep that leg hovered and pulse it. So really send that foot out behind you, that nice long, strong leg. Good squeeze through the bottom and pull in through the tummy to keep you nice and stable. And then we bring that knee to the front, rotate the ankle one way, and then back around the other way. And then lower down onto the floor. We're going to do a balance next. I just need to quickly plug this in. Forgot to do that. And move the mic here. That's a bit better. Right. Okay, we're going to do our balance now. So let's make sure we've got the room around us. We'll do a star balance, I think. So drawing up one knee. Nice pull in through the tummy. Pulling up and pulling in. Shoulders are back and down. And we're just still taking those nice deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. Again, use the wall, use the chair to help you if you find that your balance is not brilliant at the moment. The more you do this, the better your balance will get. And we're going to lower that foot onto your shin and open up through the hip. And we'll take a few breaths here. That's a nice breath in. And we lift those arms up towards the ceiling. Keep the shoulders down as we stretch and lengthen through the waist. And we will start to bring those arms into a Y shape, straighten up that bent leg. So now we want a nice line through the torso and that lifted leg as we start to tip. So lifting through the leg, tipping over through the upper body. And lengthening those arms away, lengthen those limbs, stay nice and balanced and controlled. And releasing off. We'll do the same on the other side. So drawing up the other leg. Again, pull up, pull in. So getting strong through the powerhouse. Shoulders are back and down, and we're nice and tall. Taking those nice deep breaths. So we can lower that foot onto your shin, open up through the hip, and we'll take a few breaths here. It's a nice breath in. We lift those arms up towards the ceiling. Keep the shoulders down away from your ears. Nice and lifted through the waist. Open up those arms to a Y. Then we straighten out the bent leg. And again, nice pull up and pull in as we start to tip into our star shape. So lengthen those limbs. Don't bring one arm over or one arm forwards. Think about keeping them as if you've got a pane of glass in front of you and a pane of glass behind you. So you can only tip over sideways. And then finish up. Lovely. So we're going to move on to the mat. So make sure that's in position. I'm just going to redirect the camera a little bit, as we will spend most of the time on the mat now. So we're going to do our roll downs. Standing in your Pilates posture at the end of the mat, draw those shoulders back and down, nice pull in through the tummy. It's a breath in. And keep those knees soft as we start to roll down through the spine. So one vertebrae at a time. So really focus on articulating through the spine. Good pull in through the tummy to protect the lower back as we round down one vertebrae at a time. Keep those knees soft. And when you're at the bottom, as far as feels comfortable for you, we're going to take a breath or two. And then start to restack. Building the spine back up, one vertebrae at a time. Tuck that bottom under. Restack the vertebrae. Grow nice and tall. Draw those shoulders back and down. Ready to go again. Deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth, so that you're not holding your breath. That's the last thing you want to do in Pilates, is hold your breath. So even if you get the breathing pattern the wrong way around, it really doesn't matter. Nice pull in through the tummy, last roll down. Take it nice and slowly. Focus on what's happening with the body. Can you feel the vertebrae moving one by one? Are your arms nice and relaxed, and your shoulders and your head and your neck? And the knees, are they still soft? Let's come down on this last roll down. We're going to stay here for a few breaths while we let those arms swish and sway about. So we want to get some space in the shoulders. Then we can do the same with the head and the neck as you nod the head and shake the head. So nod as if you're saying yes, shake the head as if you're saying no. And then we're going to come down onto the mat into a seated position. And we're going to do an exercise that will strengthen the core, your stomach, your abdominals, and also your obliques. So we want feet to be hip distance apart, shoulder width apart really, nice and tall and neutral, arms parallel to your legs. So this is tall sitting. We want to have that neutral spine. So try to, if you find that you're tight in the hamstrings, you might be pulling down a little bit in the back there. So try to sit nice and tall, shoulders back and down. We're going to make a C shape through the spine as you exhale. Keep the shoulders back and down. Nice pull in through the tummy, halfway down. Breath in. Exhale, drawing yourself back up. Nice and tall. Let's do one more. Freya, can I have a glucose tablet, please? Just throw one at me. Breath in, drawing yourself back up again. So we're going to add a little bit of an oblique twist. So as we come down, we're going to open up this arm. And then we're going to sit up from here. So we've got this rotation. And then leaning forward, we're going to try and cut the toe off on the opposite foot. Back up to the center. Shoulders back and down, nice neutral spine. Let's do that on the other side. So it's a breath in. As you exhale, pulling in through the tummy, we do that C shape, but we open up through the arm. Coming back up. Neutral spine. Then we lean forwards to chop the toe off the other foot. Back to the center. Let's do another one. Thanks, honey. Back. For him, pull yourself up. Forward into saw. Inhale, exhale, we pull in through the tummy. Make that C shape, open up the arms. Breath in, exhale, coming back up. Nice and neutral. We've still got that rotation. Let's do one more on each side. Breath in. C-shaped spine. We open up through the arms. Coming back up. Nice and tall. Lean forward. Chop that toe off. Keep the shoulders down and back. Excellent. Let's just do a little bit of a mermaid stretch just to release off. Lovely. We have got some curl up next. So we're going to roll down onto the mat. So nice and slowly, neutral spine, and we tuck the bottom under, make that C shape as we roll down. So we've got some curl up. And again, we'll do it in different layers. Feet are flat on the floor, hip distance apart, knees are bent, neutral spine, hands resting down by your side. Let's bring those shoulders down away from the ears, tuck the chin. So just take a moment, take a few breaths to feel nice and relaxed. You've got that little flat hand gap under your lower back, nice pull in through the tummy. Feel the shoulders melting onto the mat and the back of the head. All those points that you're connecting with the mat. So just relax. Take a couple of deep breaths. So we're going to draw up the pelvic floor and we're going to scoop that belly button down towards the mat as we do an upper body curl up. So to start with, we're going to lift the back of the head so we tuck the chin, and then think about leading with your forehead as you lift from the sternum and reach the hands down towards your heels. And then we can lower one vertebrae at a time to come back down onto the mat. Breath in, exhale, we do the same again. Think about the forehead leading, so you're trying to get your forehead ahead of your chin, but still keep that gap between the chin and your chest, as if you've got a tangerine in there. So we're still, by that I mean that we are lengthening that neck. We're not just crunching it down, we are trying to keep it nice and lengthened while we are looking forwards. So we can change the arms a little bit here. So I want you to bring the arms up towards the ceiling. So this time we lift the back of the head and we lead with the forehead, and we bring those arms down by your side. We can do some arm beats as if we're doing the 100 and then lower back down. As we lower down, the arms come back up towards the ceiling. Breath in. So we're trying to keep the rib cage nice and soft as we bring the arms up towards the ceiling. And then we can bring the arms a little bit further, but think about the ribs staying connected to the mat, to keep nice and soft so we're not arching through the back. And again, exhale. Bring the arms up as you lift up through the upper body, and then we do some 100 arm beats and then lower. So feeling that the back of your rib cage is connected with the mat as we rise those arms overhead. And we're coming up onto the tips of your shoulder blades. Last couple. So good movement through the shoulders, a good connection between the movement of the arms and the movement through the ribs and the spine. Last one, exhale. Always lead with the forehead. Don't let the chin come up towards the ceiling and your neck extend here at the front, because that's going to give you a bit of a neck strain. So we're going to move on to the 100 now. So we've got that option of having the head and shoulders lifted as we did just there, or you can keep your head and shoulders rested on the mat. The 100 has 100 arm beats, so nice movement from the shoulder, nice long strong arms as you beat 5 beats while you breathe in through the nose, and you turn the palms to face the ceiling and do 5 beats while you exhale through the mouth. Watch the wrists, watch the elbows, don't let them go floppy. So nice long arms. While we're doing those arm beats, we've got options for the legs. Option 1 is one leg in tabletop while we do those arm beats. Kind of keep nice and stable with a good hold through the powerhouse. Halfway through, you change to the other leg. Option 2 is both legs in tabletop for the whole 100. And you could have the upper body lift if you like, if you're able to maintain that. Option 2.5 is one leg extended, one in tabletop. Halfway through you change. And option 3 is both legs extended. And again, you can have your head and shoulders lifted, but not if you're like this. That's going to really hurt. So either properly up or down. Okay, no halfway house. So let's go into our position for the 100. I will do this one. I'm going to start with my head and shoulders lifted. I may not be able to do the whole 100, but anyway, breathing in 2, 3, 4, 5, out 2, 3, 4, 5, in 2, 3, 4, 5, out 2, 3, 4, 5, in 2, 3, 4, 5, out 2, 3, 4, 5, in 2, 3, 4, 5, out 2, 3, 4, 5, in 2, 3, 4, 5, out 2, 3, 4, 5, halfway, 3, 4, 5, out 2, 3, 4, 5, in 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, in 2, 3, 4, 5, out 2, 3, 4, 5, in 2, 3, 4, 5, out 2, 3, 4, 5. Last one, 3, 4, 5, out 2, 3, 4, 5. Hug those knees in. Yeah, I couldn't stay up for very long. It's really hard to do that and talk. That's my excuse, and I'm sticking with it. So just roll from side to side with those knees drawn in for a little release through the lower back, and roll your head from side to side. Lovely. So we have got some shoulder bridging next. And we're going to do 2 shoulder bridges, one for the legs and one for the arms. So if you're going to use some hand weights, a couple of cans I've got, have them handy. You won't use them for the first one, but it'll save us having to get up and get them. So, right home. So feet can be a little bit closer to the bottom. Just make sure you've got the room for extending those legs. If that's an option that we're going to do in the shoulder bridge. So feet flat on the floor. Let's change it up a little bit. Let's bring, so we've got 2 options with the feet from here. We could have feet hip distance apart and lined up with your knees and your hips. That's going to give you a firmer base of stability. To make it a little harder, bring those feet together, bring those knees together, engage through the inner thighs to keep those legs together now. That is going to be much harder. So just in and of itself. So coming up into our shoulder bridge, we start by peeling that spine away from the mat. So we've either got legs hip distance apart or legs together, up to you. You can change it halfway through. So keep gripping those thighs together if you've got the second option here. Soften up the rib cage, rest those hands by your side. So option 1 with the legs is heel lift. So we lift one heel and we don't drop through the hip. So the hips stay nice and level, good squeeze through the bottom as we lift and lower one heel at a time. You've got to keep nice and strong through the center to stop yourself from shifting from side to side. So we're working on stability. And we're still gripping those thighs together if that's the option with the legs. We can also do some work through the hips. So we're going to take a breath in. As you exhale, we're going to bring one leg up to tabletop. Pause while you inhale. Keep pressing down with that other heel and then lower. Inhale, exhale. The other leg comes up to tabletop. So that's another option with the legs. Last option is going to be a bit of a hip opener. So we bring one leg up to tabletop, then rest the side of the ankle on your knee. And then from here, you're just going to let that knee fall out to the side. So you are opening up the hip here. Don't let the hips drop. Press through the heel of the supporting leg to keep the hips nice and level, parallel to the ceiling, and we just hold it for a few breaths while we open up through the hip here. Bring the leg back to tabletop and lower. Let's do the same on the other side. So you've got heel lifts, you've got legs to tabletop, or we've got this new level of a hip opener. So we place the ankle, keep the hips level, parallel to the ceiling. Let the knee fall out to the side. Back to tabletop and lower. Let's do one more on each side of whichever option. Legs to tabletop, ankle on the knee, open up through the hip, keep those hips parallel to the ceiling, lift the bottom away from the floor. Take a few breaths. Leg back to tabletop and lower. Last one. Ankle on the knee, open through the hip, press the hips so they're level to the parallel to the ceiling. Back to tabletop and lower. And we're going to return the spine down one vertebrae at a time. Draw those knees in. Have a little bit of a stretch through that lower back. Just to release it off. Lovely. We're going to do a shoulder bridge now with some movement through the shoulders. So just make sure that you've got that space above you now. You can move your hands around, and we've got the weights, which are optional. So again, feet hip distance apart, or you can make it more challenging, bringing those feet together. Draw those shoulders down away from your ears, and it's a breath in. As you exhale, coming up into your second shoulder bridge. So good squeeze through the bottom, keep the ribs soft. Grab those hand weights beside you. So we're going to do some marching arms. So first of all, we bring those arms up towards the ceiling and just take a moment to feel the back of the shoulders into the mat and the back of the head, and you're pressing down through your heels. So you've got those connecting points where you're pressing down, and then you're squeezing through the bottom and doing the opposite movement with your hips. So keep that connection, that feeling of opposition as we do those marching arms. So one arm up, one arm back. And really think about keeping the arms nice and gently lengthened. So no tension, but They are still nice and strong. And you're still feeling the opposition of pressing down through the heels and the shoulders and the back of the head, but lifting through the hips. Nice pull up through the pelvic floor and let your belly button go down towards your spine. Bring the arms back up to the ceiling. We're going to do star arms. So that is one arm going across to about 2 o'clock, one arm going across to 4, the opposite side of a clock. So we're just bringing the arms out 45 degrees, one up, one down, and changing to the other side. Last couple, and we will move on to some arm circles. So we can do these arm circles up towards the ceiling. So just circling those arms. Up towards the ceiling, so you've got to be a little bit more controlled. Let's change the direction, and we're still pressing down through the heels, squeezing through the bottom, lifting through the hips, keeping the ribs nice and soft. Last couple of circles. Let's bring those arms overhead as we return the spine down onto the mat, one vertebrae at a time. And the arms are going to just arc back over to your side. Lovely. So let's get rid of those hand weights. Now we've got an exercise for mobility through the spine next. So it's quite an easy day today, really. We'll use the towel like a pillow, or we'll use a pillow. Instead of using a towel like a pillow, let's use a pillow. So we'll take this cushion, pillow, towel. Bring your head onto the front edge of it. Both arms are going to come out in front of you, one on top of the other. We're lying on our side. Hips are stacked on top of each other, shoulders stacked on top of each other. The knees, when you look at the knees, they're nicely lined up so that we're not leaning back. So just have a quick check. Nice and comfortable. From now on, those knees are going to stay glued to the mat and glued together. As we take a breath in, exhale, just lengthen that top arm, roll forwards through the shoulders, and you'll get to a certain point where it's going to start lifting. And you're going to watch that hand as it lifts over and opens up like a book. Keep watching it so that you twist through the waist, rotating through the spine, and just come as far as you're able to. If you can reach the floor, that's amazing. We may be able to reach the floor by the time we've done the third one. Take a couple of breaths here. Keep those knees on the mat. And then we're going to start closing the book. And as we're doing that, lengthen out through the shoulder. So really reach up towards the ceiling as if you're trying to touch the ceiling. Back to the beginning, nice and slow. We'll do that again. So reaching forwards, and then we've got that nice length through the shoulder, reaching up towards the ceiling. Feel open through the chest. Keep looking at that arm. So we've got a nice rotation through the spine, open feeling through the chest. And we can stay here for a few breaths. Still trying to reach up towards the ceiling as that arm comes up and over. Nice and slow. Let's do that one more time. Breath in, reaching the top arm forwards, really reaching and lengthening through that arm. Keep looking at it. Keep the knees on the mat. And make sure you're still breathing. You might find that you've just gone a little bit further now, and you can rest that hand on the floor or just get a little bit closer. A few breaths. Let's close the book. Lovely. Now, we might as well keep that pillow there if you want, or you can use the towel. And we're going to do some leg circles. So we're going to straighten up the body. So we want to have the arm can either be in front of us, or you can bend it so that it's underneath. But we want a straight line through the body, hips stacked on top of each other, or we can straighten that arm up underneath. Depends what feels more comfortable for you. So using the back edge of the mat, hips on top of each other, shoulders on top, arm in front just to support you. Bring those feet to the front edge of the mat. And now we've got two options here with that lower leg. You can either have it straight or you can bend it, which will give you a bit more support. I'm going to go for straight, so a bit more of a challenge. Little gap under that lower waist so that I'm pulling in through the tummy. We're going to do some circles. So nice long leg. That's going to lengthen away and keep those circles with it controlled. So we're keeping this gap at the waist nice and long as we do those circles. We're working on pelvic stability. We don't want to be arching through the back as we draw that leg behind. So use the glutes to do that. And that leg is nice and long. So that is the focus. Really lengthen it away. Keep strong through the center to keep the pelvis nice and stable so that we're not wobbling about. So we're minimizing that as much as we can. And relax through the upper body. Again, you've got the option to keep that lower leg bent. Will be a bit more support. Nice and slow with those circles. Don't go too high. If you're trying to come up here, you'll find that you're knocking your pelvis all out of alignment and squidging up the side of the waist. So think about lengthening more so than anything. Let's change the direction of those circles. Use the breath to help you as you find the leg is challenging your balance. You'll be working nice and hard through the abdominals to keep you nice and stable. And again, long, long leg. Exhale to pull that tummy in. Last couple. Brilliant. Let's do a couple of torpedo just to finish up, strengthen up the side of the body. So we're going to straighten up now. Hips on top of each other, a little gap under that lower waist. Top arm to support yourself. We'll just do 5 or 6 torpedoes now. Breath in. As you exhale, lengthen both legs away and then lift. Hold it while you inhale. And exhale to lower. Now to make this harder, let's keep those legs hovered as you inhale. Or you can rest them on the mat if you have to, but just challenge a little bit more if you can. Lengthen as you exhale. Hold it while you inhale. Exhale to lower. Hover or rest. Good. Pull in through the tummy. You will really notice the difference if you've got a good, strong center. Lay that top arm across the body. It's going to give you a bit more of a challenge. Remember, you're either hovering those legs or you're resting them. Last couple. Try not to collapse through the waist as we lift. Don't let the lower waist, don't lose that little gap. And last one. Exhale, we lift and lengthen. Hold it as you inhale. Exhale to lower this time all the way down. Right, lovely. Let's do the other side. So we'll start with our open book. A little bit of mobility through the spine. So lying on your side, arms in front of you at 90 degrees, knees are bent. And again, make sure we're knees on top of each other, shoulders on top of each other, and the hips. So nice breath in. Oh, just come to the front edge of that pillow. And it's a breath in. Exhale to lengthen that top arm. We open up. Keep watching that hand. Try to lengthen up towards the ceiling. Keep the knees on the mat and just come as far as you're able to. You might find that you're more flexible on one side than the other. And then we close that book. Ready to go again. Make sure you're still breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Watching that hand. Get a nice twist through the waist, through the spine. Open across the chest. Couple of breaths here. Let the weight of the hand help you open through the shoulders. We've just got one more. Nice long limb. Try to brush the ceiling. Get nice space through the shoulder. And then we come around. Maybe a bit further this time. Breath or two here. And then we close the book. Reaching up to the ceiling. Lovely. Let's straighten up for our leg circles. So again, arm comes underneath you now if you want, or you can bend it, use it as a pillow. So use the back edge of the mat to line yourself up. It always helps to have that reference point. Then we bring the feet to the front edge of the mat, and the back is still lying along the back edge. So straight leg or bent leg, whichever you did on the other side. Straight leg is going to be slightly harder. So we lift that top leg to top height. And we start doing our leg circles. So again, nice long leg, so lengthen it out.
Which phone number, contact or device do you want to call?
Alexa, stop.
So nice long leg lengthening. Keep that length at the waist as well, so that as we bring that leg up to the top of the circle, we're not going too high. And again, a nice exhale. It's going to help you stay nice and stable as that leg comes forward. The last couple of circles before we change direction. Try to make sure that you are bringing that leg behind you, squeezing through the glute without rolling back. Let's change direction. Lengthen through the leg. Slowly with those circles. Use control. Last couple. The last one. Lovely. We'll do that torpedo just to finish up. So use waist. Keep pulling in through the tummy. Exhale. Send those legs away. Hold it while you inhale. On the next exhale, we can lower those legs to hover on the mat or rest. Breath in, exhale, lift and lengthen. Hold it while you inhale. Exhale to lower. And again, you can bring that top arm across the body. Last couple. So really send those feet away. It's all about length through the limbs. And we've got one more. Good. Pull in through the tummy. And exhale to lower. Lovely. So we're going to work on an exercise to strengthen the back. And we'll use the towel rather than the pillow, I think. So we're going to do some swan dive, but we'll do a variation of swan dive. So this one always gets people. So you might want to watch first and then have a go. So we're going to use the forehead under your, the block, the towel underneath your forehead so that you can rest without squashing your face. Now bring your hands so that your hands are sort of almost underneath your shoulders. Or in fact, actually we'll bring them underneath the shoulders. So your elbows are up, sort of towards, the other opposite wall. And nice pull up and pull in. It's a breath in. And as you exhale, just lift and lengthen through the crown of the head and rise up through the back. Now I could remove my hands. So the hands are not really, I'm not pressing. And as I lower, one of my legs is going to lift. So it's as if I am a rocking chair. And then I lift the upper body, the leg lowers. And we're going to do the other leg. So the upper body lowers, one leg lifts. So imagine that you are like the bottom of a rocking chair. Alternating legs. Only one end is lifted. It's either your leg or your upper body. Good. Pull in through the tummy. And you're lengthening through the crown of the head and your limbs are nice and lengthened. So just alternating sides. There's tension along the whole of the back of the body. Good squeeze through the bottom. Good pull in through the tummy. Draw that pelvic floor up. One side to the other. And again, I could be doing it without the hands. Think about lengthening through the crown of the head. I'm not using my lower back to lift. Last couple. And relax. Let's come up onto all fours. How did you do with that one? It's a tricky one. I see in class lots of people have troubles with it. Anyway, I hope you did all right with it. You can watch the video again. Practice, practice, practice. So let's arch up into our angry cat nice and gently. Let the head hang between the arms. Pull in through the tummy. Tuck the bottom under. It's like you're trying to make a big O shape with your body. And then we're going to go into cow. So drop the belly, lift the tail, keep the shoulders back away from your ears. Let's go back into our angry cat. And down into cow. Nice neutral spine. And we can walk those hands around to one side. So lovely stretch up the side of the body. Have a couple of breaths here. And let's walk those hands around to the other side. Back to the middle. We're going to do thread the needle. So bring one arm across the body. Lower the shoulder as you reach through. Coming back to the middle. We'll do the same on the other side. Back to the middle. Open up those knees. Keep your toes together. Place your forearms on the mat and have a little stretch as you send your tail away. Back onto all fours. We're going to do one last roll up to standing. So pop those toes under. Walk the hands back. Straighten up those legs. And we're going to restack. Coming back up to standing. Tuck that bottom under. Building the spine back up one vertebrae at a time. Nice big breath. Reach those arms up towards the ceiling as you press the hips forwards. And take a nice breath in. We are finished. That's this week's Pilates done. Day off tomorrow, Sunday. Hopefully I'll see you on Monday. Be doing some more Pilates next week. So hopefully you'll join me. Thank you very much. Leave me some comments if you want. Any feedback is always gratefully received. Gives me purpose in lockdown. So thank you. See you soon. Bye.